Hey, good morning, traders. This is Vance Williams out of Seattle, Washington. People were asking where that is. That's in the United States. Welcome to my morning Forex trading show. It's Monday, December 15th, and we're coming into our last regular trading week before the Christmas and New Year's holidays kind of start in. Yesterday, I showed up to get a read on the market for the week, and my charts weren't working. So I downloaded them again. They didn't work again. Hang on just a second, guys. Had a sneeze there. Whoops. Anyway, so this morning I thought, yeah, they'll work it out by this morning. Nope, showed up and they still weren't working. So I had to go get some new charts. So I'm giving a market scope 2.0 a try this morning. That's why I'm actually a little bit late today. It doesn't matter really which charts I use or even which kind of charts, candles, line charts, whatever, but the functionality could trip me up a bit, like where's the Fibonacci button and, that sort of stuff. But the data all looks the same to me, so we should look fine. Okay. To see more of what I'm talking about on the show as you watch these, when you click play, make sure that you click be part of the conversation right here. And what that's going to do is that's going to enable you to see some links that I have over here. You can follow me on Twitter, so you'll know when I'm doing a show, a few minutes before I start, especially if you go to Twitter and set it for SMS. And then here on my website, you can see all kinds of things. Probably the most interesting to people is getting the free books that I have. And you do get on a mailing list, but I mail out at the most once a week usually. And then if you're interested in exploring my training options, take a look there and always email me directly and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So let me just back out of there. Let me see. Just before I begin with, the fundamentals and the technicals, just want to remind everyone that what I do on this show is for educational purposes only. From time to time, somebody says, "Oh, you said it was going to go up," and and I got stopped out, and maybe they weren't listening closely enough. I said it was going to go up over the next few days, or maybe I said it was just going to go up today. And then you really got to have all the pieces, guys. You got to know how to read the probabilities just as well as that a pair of kings beats a pair of tens. Once you know what the probabilities are that affect your probability of winning your trade at any given moment, you know what the probabilities are. There's no mystery to it. There's no systems that'll overcome the probabilities. It just is what it is. So you got to know the probabilities. Once you know that, then you got to manage your risk equity, and then you have to be able to execute well. And that, with decisions like this, where there's a consequence for every decision, which is very different from ordinary life, that is a training program. You have to train your mind. Your mind's not equipped to do this. So remember that it's all three of those pieces. So knowing which way price is likely to go 90% of the time will not make you money. So keep that in mind. In the fundamentals today, the events are a little bit unusual. The Eurozone central bank information that we were kind of looking for, now it's disappeared. I think this is in part why we're seeing a bit of a drop. We have the Japanese elections. We have the UK and US central bankers releasing data at multiple times. Tuesday and Wednesday. Also keep in mind, always keep in mind each day that we're coming into the end of the year and into the big holidays. And we know a couple of things for sure. Markets will have less liquidity as we get closer. And two, price movement will be more unusual. Some people aren't here that are usually here. They're going to be closing out different investments and different trades at the end of the year. That'll cause different movement. So just keep in mind less liquidity and more unusual movement as we get closer to Christmas. Next week, for sure, you can count on different movement. It usually changes a bit more dramatically. the week of Christmas. So this probably up till Thursday will be okay, but it'll still be a little bit unusual. I did take a look at about 6 or 7 of the major banks this morning. 3 of the major banks were, still from last week are in the buy direction, and a few others are in sell positions. And it really shows that traders are mixed about their conclusions for sure. By a small margin, the majority are long on the US dollar, which makes sense. Okay, let's talk about price now. The first thing you should notice when you look at this chart, this is a pound 4-hour chart. Just kind of get a, the little view of the last month. You can see it's been in a bit of a range here, right? It did dip down once, but then it's just in this range. It hit the top of this range in a period of uncertainty, so it's likely, or this isn't unexpected, that it would drop in here. Now it gets down somewhere near the middle, then we get to more uncertainty, right? Is it going to continue up? Is it going to go down? So I think we're leaning a little bit to the downside, but again, it's a period of heightened uncertainty. So, the risk is greater. So you either know how to manage that risk or you don't. Dropping down to the 30-minute. Where are we here? Remember, I've never used these before. Okay, dropping down to the 30-minute, you can see we've had a bit of a run down here. I did put a key level here I thought was pretty important at 56.60. And so prices come through there. Let's take a look at the behavior. Let's drop down to the 5-minute and see that pattern of movement that we look for. Now, 5. And let me see. It looks like, let me get the fib again here. Get another one on. We're going to go with this one here, this one here. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice before when I was looking at, oops, get out of there. Okay. I didn't notice before that this had dropped without a correction to 38.2. So quite a bit of selling here this morning. All right, I'm having trouble getting. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to try remove. There we go. All right. And different traders, they might have dropped down to a shorter time frame to manage this behavior a little bit better, and there might be push pullbacks and second pushes. You'd have to take a look at that, but potentially we've got a pullback to 38.2 happening here, followed by some more seller interest. I think since there's uncertainty, you might want to look for a little bit bigger pullback here. All right, let's go over to the euro. Let's start kind of look at the 4-hour just to give us a little bit bigger view. I like some of the functionality of these charts, by the way. Kind of same thing as the pound. We're in this range in here. It did drop down in here, but in a second time, but we're back up in this range. And keep in mind the U.S. dollar has been kind of correcting. There's been a lot of profit taking in the U.S. stock exchange. So we're kind of right in the middle of that area. It's almost like let's see if I can find a new line here. So add a line. We got a line there, and and then let's put another line here. So in a bit of a wedge there, you can see. Now let's drop down to the 30-minute. And by the way, what that shows, it just shows you that the buyers and sellers are just slowly getting into a smaller range. And then often, which way they break out, either the bottom or the top, that tells you, are we going to have a bigger correction up, or are we going to test this bottom side again? So that's what we'll be looking for. Okay, let's go down to the 30-minute. And what do we have here? We have the money. The balance is shifted to the downside, and you can see an important supply area right here as this came through. In other words, the sellers pushed through this area, turning the money to the downside. And so this is the turnover point right here. Let me see if I can add a label here. Insert label. We'll put it right there. We're going to say that's 124.34. So far, so good with these new charts. Okay, so we're coming in right there at that 76.4 level. Let's drop down to the 5-minute to take a closer look at the behavior. And what we see there is a pullback, second push here, and then a pullback to 76.4, touches off again. And then the buyers are starting to basically, this has been moving down steadily, pulling back, pushing, challenge this move. So the buyers challenged this move right here. The sellers pushed back. The buyers challenged it again right there. Sellers pushed back very hard, ran out of gas, and now the buyers have actually crossed over the basically the battle line of this particular wave. So the sellers have lost a little bit of strength here, and now we're up into this, you know, above this 2434 area. So not a good time to trade actually right now. We're basically in a range. The behavior's played out. Let's take a quick look at the Australian dollar real quick. This morning I marked out, if you're looking for a sell, look below 8208. For the Kiwi, below 7730. This is looking very tired. So this, you know, this might want to correct up here. All right, so potentially a trade on the pound, but again, you know, if this is so choppy coming down through here, I would say that this behavior is showing you it's tired. It did push here, but they were weak, and then a last little push before it starts correcting up. So so not a lot there. I think more than anything, there's heightened uncertainty kind of heading into Monday here. We don't have any data out for the US dollar, the UK, or the Eurozone. So traders are kind of likely to roll in with a slow start this morning. I guess the final thing is, you know, basically for traders on our team, what I suggest you do is just focus on your precision trading, measuring the buyer-seller advantage and the strength of those advantages, and basically trading your plans. So pretty simple and straightforward. For our members, I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes in our live trading room. Actually, about 25, it looks like. I'll see you guys there. For everybody else, I hope you got at least one thing out of the call this morning. You guys have a great one. Cheers.